this is my whole swatch of all of my Cliona Cosmetics eyeshadows. I actually ordered half of these and they were gracious enough to send me extras for my own review and to show you guys. So most of these were done with the brush, but at some point I got tired of doing brushes and cleaning them, so I ended up just going straight up with my finger. I know you guys like a mix of real swatches versus stencils, so I kind of did a mix of both. At the end I added a bonus of my favorite shades after I tested and wore some of them, and actually swatched and did a few tests with the others. I did kind of like my favorites, and that's like at the end of the video. And the original video that I uploaded did not have the voiceover for some reason, so I re-recorded everything and added that footage at the end, so that's just a little extra that you guys are gonna have. So I started with the iridescence, and all of these are shades that have duochrome, and they have if you do a lot of, like, if you layer a lot of layers, if you like pile or pack in a lot of layers, you start looking a little chalky. But this takes a lot before it even starts beginning to looking chalky. They don't have like a white base, they're clear base, but you need very little to make that duochrome effect. So if you do start piling them up, maybe after like the fifth layer, you start getting a little bit of that white cast. But meanwhile, 2-3 layers of it, you should be fine. If you don't need a lot. Again, like for the first layer that you apply, you get that brightness, you get that effect of the multicolored duochromes. So these were excellent dry, but if you do want to kind of prevent fallout, or if you want to use these for like long wear, definitely use a mix and medium and apply it either to your brush or your fingers when you're putting it on your eye. So these are the swatches, the first 4, and I divided them by color stories, kind of like the iridescence, the blues, the purples, the greens, etc. So hopefully it starts making sense once you start seeing the rest of them. So we're gonna start with the next set. I did this going to be Cathedral, Blaze, and I forget the name of the fourth one, Corrosion. The third one is Corrosion. So Cathedral has some, it kind of looks, it's funny because it's called Cathedral, because to me it looks like that weathered type of green, where it starts catching a little bit of purple, because catching a little bit of blue, you know, like old cathedrals, and that the color that marbles, kind of green and dark marble starts looking like. Blaze is a gold with a slight reddish pink tinge to it. It does have a flip. And again, these look kind of uneven because they were just did one swipe with my finger. Once you see them in a stencil and kind of done right with layered and even, you're gonna see kind of really how it will look in your eye. These were quick swatches. I try not to make anything too elaborate on swatches, so you guys see the true pigment and the true formula, kind of like how if it powders up, if it doesn't. So that's why they look like this. They're very much real. But I did some swatches on the stencils at the end, and you'll see how they will look if you kind of, if you really actually applied them nicely and with a I didn't even do a wet brush, but at least more controlled application than just swiping my finger across. So these are the second 3. Now we're going on to the purples. Now if you do want to see more of these, I have a very small stash of them, but if you want to see like all of the shades, you have to go onto Angela Mary Tanner's page, and she's linked right on the comment, not the caption. her Instagram. She's my business partner, my best friend. You gotta see all the swatches she has. And she has basically all of the shades from this brand swatched and multiple comparisons. So you have to check that out if you're planning on making a big order from them. So a little bit of info on this brand. They're actually based in Canada. So when you look at the prices on their site, you're going to think that, you know, the Canadian dollar is different to the US dollar. So make sure you check your conversions. I think the website has its own conversion system, but either way, make sure you know that you're paying probably less than what it says there, being the Canadian dollar slightly different than ours. So here we go into the purple. So there is a lot of duochromes here. And actually, I snuck in a shade in there that was mostly like a pastel type of color. And it still has a flip. But I think the Flame Blown could have easily been included with the greens and purple duochromes, because it's kind of like part of that same family of the formula in terms of the formula. She's got a different formula. She's got like all these multi-chromes and like glittered ones, and she's got like a ton, like Cliona. They have various different versions of the formula of what they're doing. So you just gotta check every single one of them and see which one applies more to what you want to do. Torch is a gold with a magenta flip. This was one swipe, believe it or not. I just took my finger and I dipped it and I did a lightly swipe, and voila, you got that insane swatch that you saw there. And most of these on the pan, you can even see directly on the pan how insane they are. Like, I didn't even have to swatch them for you guys to see. Smoulder is another one of those multi-chrome shades. It goes from green to gold to a deep magenta purple. And it has almost no black base. So you can apply this on top of another eyeshadow. You can apply it on itself. And it doesn't get muddy. It doesn't have that black cast that some of these multi-chromes pigments have. It actually just applies great by itself. Gothic is in the same family, but it sticks more towards a red and purple only, even though it still has some of that yellow. Oh, Bane decided to make an appearance on my video. All right, as if you guys are wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm petting him so he'd be quiet, because I am not recording this again. I'm sorry. Here it is. This swatch, different versions, different lighting, different angles. So you see how the shades, they might look similar on pan, but once you put them on your arms or your eye, well, actually in your eyes, you're not gonna wear these on your arms, but once you put them on your eyes, you see that they are different. I bought some of these. I put them on my cart, basically because they look so similar on the pictures on the website. But once you put them in action, they're definitely different. So we're going right now on to the greens. The greens, I picked two lighter colors, like a pastel and a lighter mint color. And then I picked two of their most famous shades, which is Enamel and Oculus. Again, those are two other shades that once you see them on the pan, you see that they look very similar, but one of them flips towards a green and the other one flips towards a purple. And in case you're wondering why this dog is crying in the background, because I'm talking. Because if I'm talking, I must be talking to him, and I'm on the other side, like he's blocked off where I'm working, and he wants to come to this side to get petted, because I usually, if I have working, like if I have my computer up, if I'm doing calls, I keep the dogs on the other side, because randomly they'll start barking in the middle of like a conference call, and it doesn't work. I think it works more if I just let them all in, and because I can just pet them and get them to be quiet. So this is the comparison of the two shades, so you can see that they're definitely different. Oculus has more royal blue even in here. And this is, again, only one swipe of a finger. I did not build it up. I did not do anything weird other than put one finger in and stripe across. Now we're going into the pinky shades. Sunbeam is such an amazing shade, But the only reason why I didn't put it on my favorites was because I thought it had been done enough already that I didn't feel like it would wow me so much, but it's still very pretty. Kaleidoscope is more of a baby pink and silver, and it does have a slightly tinge of teal in it. Now you can see them better when I do those low light pictures. You can see it picks up more of that background shade better than Emboss is it's not a Barbie pink. What can you call this? It's not a bubblegum pink, but it's still duochrome too. You get that light teal as well. And I'm taking different angles, different pictures, because a lot of these duochromes look better in low light. So I swatched them all on my arm, just so you can see them all together. And I not all on my arm, I split them 10 and 10. And then at the end of the video, I did a top 12 compilation of what I like the most. So see how those shades flip from one entirely different shade to the other? That's the magic of multichrome, man. I think these girls have mastered the multichrome without having to add so much opaque pigment in the background to like mix it in. I don't know how this works. I know that, well, technically, I've been told that they sell like the pigments and then you gotta mix them. And some of those pigments have different grades, like the opacity or the brightness that you want. And that's why there's different levels that you can get a different and these are my top 12 actually. You can get like a different lower based, economically speaking, lower costly multichrome, and you can get these. Like these to me would be your top shelf. And then you can get other indies that have amazing multichromes, but they're not as bright as these. Again, Angela did a lot of comparisons with some of our favorite indies, which is they're amazing and they're great for the price point that they're at. But these are definitely a higher price point for a reason. You're getting top of the line, best of the best. And I'm sorry, but it doesn't get any better. Well, I really hope that it does get better. I really hope that everybody, there's a million multichromes coming out, because I think these are my favorite type of shadows to come out. But again, and we have a code. It's not affiliated. We're not getting any payment off of it or from the video. So just so you know, this is just me totally fangirling. So thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe.